Where do I begin?
Everyone, please share your energy with me!
Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 is probably the second best Dragon Ball fighting game ever. My favorite genre of games is fighting. So jumping into Budokai 3 again after first playing it in the HD collection almost a decade ago, Jesus, I decided to treat it differently this time. I wanted to treat it as a fighting game instead of your run-of-the-mill mashy anime game. And once I did, I went so deep down the rabbit hole that I spent the whole day just labbing Goku combos and theories. I usually do like a mini retrospective at the beginning about the game's development, release date, and other small tidbits about the game. Like Budokai 3 was the only title in the Budokai trilogy to not get a GameCube version for its original release. But this time, I want to purely talk about the rabbit hole that is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3's gameplay. Like with other versions of Budokai, Budokai 3 features 4 buttons that have basic uses for its core system. P for punch, K for kick, G for guard, E for energy or ki blast. These buttons are tied to the combo list that each character has. On the combo list comes combo strings. While not every string is unique to a character in the game, they do vary amongst the strings themselves. There are full kick strings, full punch strings, directional input strings, strings that end in special moves, and probably the most important one, strings that end in charge moves. Charge moves are when you hold down a button, delaying the attack to come out later with more strength. But after spending time with the series and remembering what was lost after not playing it for a while, charge moves are Budokai 3 everything. It's the whole series everything. Using the guard button, you can cancel the animation of a charge move to go into a guard state. This allows you to extend combos well beyond a singular combo string that's on a character's combo list. Guard canceling is free too, as in it doesn't cost any meter or resources. It only requires you to have a chargeable move and good execution. Those moves do have limits in the form of a peculiar hit paration. All combos in the game can only be done on an opponent once. For example, doing forward PK charge K guard cancel into forward P will result in the opponent going airborne. So for a simple combo, you have to do a string change like forward PK charge K cancel into KKK K charge into cancel to keep the opponent grounded for even more damage. Like every other fighting game, people found a way around this limitation. Using the guard cancel method, the Budokai community has figured out backdash can be used in the same way you continue a combo string. By doing a charge move and guard canceling, you can backdash, leaving space between you and an opponent for a button to whiff. To do this, you have to buffer the backdash during the charge of the move. Let's use the forward PKK string again. You can do forward PK charge K backdash guard cancel. When doing the backdash, make sure you hold the back direction. It makes it so when you let go of the guard button, your character goes flying backwards. There is something called air backdashing as well. The setup is similar to the regular backdash, except instead of pressing back twice, you press up and back. This puts you airborne. You know how I said before that the strings can only be done once in a combo? With air backdash cancel, you could do the string again. This is because strings in the air and strings on the ground count as two different strings, leading to more combos. You have to be careful about spacing with backdashing, as being too close won't result in a whiff, and too far means that opponents can get out of the combos. This one technique made me want to learn Budokai 3 in depth. I suck at doing it though. It's only been 3 days and I don't know what I'm doing completely yet. But the trading mode helps out quite a bit when testing if my combo is true or not. I didn't talk about it in my other retrospectives of the Budokai series, but they have a legitimate training mode for the type of game this is, of course. It gives damage information, details about your defense and attack power. You can even display a combo string that you want to try in the input history, kind of like Tekken. That's not the star though, in my opinion. What really makes this training mode good is the way you can set your opponent to your liking. You can have them recover and guard after being hit to make sure the combos are legit. There's even a counter that you can set. There are things that I wish it had, like a quick reset button instead of going into the menus anytime I want to reset my position, or recording so I can practice perfect guarding. Perfect guarding is another mechanic that adds to the depth of the comeback system. If you time pressing the guard button right before the opponent hits, their attack will whiff like they would in Dragon Ball Z. If done on the right move, it leaves the opponent in a recovery state so they can be punished, but they can be countered with a guard break move. Guard break moves consist of moves that can, well, break guards. Dash moves, double tapping forward plus the punch button, kick, or both combined, can do this. This leaves the opponent in a state for a full combo. As Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 is a 3D game, you can sidestep these guard breaks and others like a Kamehameha by pressing the guard and up or down at the same time. Transformations can also break the opponent's guard. Transformations in the Budokai games have been a core mechanic since the first game. I mean, it's Dragon Ball. It would be weird if at least one character didn't have a transformation. Each time you transform, you get a damage buff, and sometimes you get access to different or altered moves. Like doing a Spirit Bomb in base form with Goku does a regular Spirit Bomb, but if you transform into Super Saiyan 4, he absorbs the Spirit Bomb and then changes it to a Dragon Fist Super. It's the little things like this that make Budokai a great Dragon Ball game. Don't misinterpret transformations as only damage buff. They also have hitboxes, which mean they can be used as combo extenders. When using a guard cancel, you can go into a transformation to pop the opponent higher if airborne, or use as a guard break combo that keeps them grounded. The latter can only be done once, but the former can be done as long as you have a new transformation to go into, as it doesn't take away bar from when you execute it. I've seen people do some sick combos with this stuff, but I've only been able to do the weak stuff. Transformations can be used in a defensive manner as well. When guarding against an opponent's stream, if there's a gap, you can awaken to be put in an offensive position, because transformations always guard break. Whether the opponent is blocking or not, you'll get a free combo, but it's only free if your opponent does not escape your combo. Escaping an opponent's combo is a huge defensive mechanic that was added to the game over the previous entries in the Budokai series. Spending 3 bars lets you vanish out of an opponent's combo string and counter them with an automatic follow-up attack that knocks them away. Be careful when you use this though, as the opponent can counter vanish your advantage. That, and if you vanish during the wrong point in the combo string, it can lead to a punish. Say like when someone is going to guard cancel or awaken. Vanish is used as an offensive mechanic as well. You can spend multiple amounts of key bar to ping pong your opponent across the screen for extra damage. With the introduction of this mechanic, meter management becomes more important to the overall gameplay. Do you use 3 bars to escape this combo? Should it be used for a special move with multiple vanishes? Maybe save it for hyper mode. Hyper mode is something they should have saved in the drafts though, if I'm being honest. With hyper mode, your character glows red and basically is invincible until all their ki is drained. As I was playing, I forgot how annoying this portion of the game is, like frustratingly so. The only way to avoid it was to basically run away until their ki ran out. Even the computer did it when I went into hyper mode. But the reason hyper mode should have been left in the draft isn't because of hyper mode itself, it's because of Dragon Rush. Not this Dragon Rush, but this Dragon Rush.
Whoa! Your history!
Dragon Rush high-key brings this game down as a whole in my opinion. It is pure luck, not even rock, paper, scissors. In Dragon Rush, you choose between triangle, square, circle, or X or cross on a timer to go into a series of attacks that results in huge damage if done to the end. But what makes this worse is that your opponent also has to choose a button as well. If they choose wrong, the Dragon Rush continues. If they choose right, it stops the Dragon Rush in its track. But the worst part is that you have to guess 3 different times in order for this to go through. In most fighting games, the RPS is something that is manageable, and it has some type of mind game behind it. But here, it's pray that you guess right on offense or defense. It sucks that some cool skills like Dragon Fist are tied to this mechanic. Skills in this game, like others in the Budokai series, take up a certain amount of slots. A Gallic gun consumes 1, while something like Vatora Fusion takes them all. This allows for customization and for the character to feel like your own. To acquire skills, there are 2 ways. One is through Dragon Universe. In this mode, you fly around a map collecting Dragon Balls, capsules which contain skills, and reliving the story of DBZ. It's cool. You can play the Dragon Ball Z story through different viewpoints like Piccolo, but the main thing you get from here are characters and a skill called Breakthrough. Breakthrough allows you to use all the character's skills as opposed to rationing slots for them. The other way to acquire these skills is through the skill shop. Here you can get skills that are in these 3 different categories: ability, equipment, and items. Stages can be acquired this way as well. A gambling category allows you to spend zenny to randomly pick one instead of choosing which one the store suggests at the time. Obtaining zenny for capsules requires you to randomly find it on the Dragon Universe map or participate in the World Tournament. World Tournament sounds like what you think it is, a tournament. A staple in the Budokai series, you fight in a single elimination tournament against the computer or humans to win zenny. As I played through the Budokai series again, it has become quite evident that these games get better with each entry. To be honest, I miss that with newer games. Back then you could get a series that was iterative and improved on what was just okay to make it something that people will remember fondly. This applies heavily to the Budokai series, whether it be through graphical improvement or gameplay changes, even if I don't like some of the additions. There is a strong case for Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 being the second best Dragon Ball fighting game for me. Dragon Ball FighterZ is number 1 for me, and that won't change until they release Dragon Ball FighterZ 2. I haven't played Infinite World yet, so that might dethrone Budokai 3 in the near future, but as of right now, that crown goes to Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3.